It's the second lesson on recognising different types of algebraic graph. In the first one, we looked at some general shapes of graphs and matched them to the types of equations that made them. In this lesson, there is just one piece of information I want you to remember, and it is that the high power of an equation tells you the maximum number of turns in a graph. You just have to take away one from it, and there you are. For example, an equation with a high power of 3, a cubic equation, will give you a graph with 2 turns maximum. An equation with a high power of 5 will give you 4 turns. This is in fact so reliable that were you inclined to drive a graph like this on a rally circuit...
Okay, tricky one coming up. Y equals 2x to the power of 4 plus 3x to the power of 3.
Right, that's a high power of 4, so...
3 turns. First one shot. Brilliant. Well done. Next up, y equals 0.5x to the power of 3.
Okay, that's cubic, so a high power of 3. That's...
2 turns.
2 turns, okay, great.
Last one. It's quadratic.
Oh, quadratic. I can do this. That means x squared, so a high power of 2, so 2 turns.
No, not 2!
Oh dear, too late.
Take one away from the high power and it will tell you the maximum number of turns. To practice using this new piece of information, I'm showing you 4 different graphs and 4 different equations. All you need to do is match them up using the number of turns in the graph as a key clue. Pause the video and have a go. The answers then. Graph A has 4 turns, which suggests a high power of 5. Only one of these equations has this. Graph B has 2 turns, so it must be a cubic graph, a high power of 3. Working in the opposite direction from what's left, if this equation has a high power of 4, it will have a maximum of 3 turns. That matches this then. And finally, this one has a high power of 2, it's quadratic, so it has 1 turn. It's a smiley face, in fact. We saw that last time in the last video. All of them, you'll notice, the high power in the equation is 1 more than the number of turns in the graph, because if you take away 1 from the high power of an equation, that will tell you the maximum number of turns in that graph. And there we have it. Whether it's with visual tricks or counting turns, you've got a good set of graph recognizing skills there at your disposal. Moving forward now, we're going to start to look at the principles of plotting equations on graphs and their properties. We're going to start with some straight line graphs, linear equations.